We've got 3 more. I put out some feelers basically to try and get some more like, games to like, recommend it to me. And some people basically answered. It also basically got posted here in like, the feel free to request videos. Like, Fred basically had in like the Roguetemple's Fortnite forum from Spiracle. But notably, he's actually like, paired up with Animate RNG who also requested, so it's still only free. Anyhow, 3 more games basically to like go through. That means I get to do the random number generator again. So let's see here. We'll knock it on the free. We'll get a random number. And look at that, we finally got a free. So the first one up is going to be Rogue Operator Trinity by Slashy. Alright, so I'll note that he has like a jam version, but I'll be playing like the the post jam version, so whatever. And also it's basically just by him, I believe, so just Slashy, no one else. Okay, before we like jump into like his game here, Slashy is of course a 70-year-old veteran of like quite a bit of claim. Also he's like made in ice, which I basically did like a let's play for, so there's that too. I don't think this is a 70-year-old, but it's there, whatever. Anyhow, let's just go through these games real quick, and I know a few of you are basically going to be like 70-year-olds just by looking at them, but let's just see how many of these are 70-year-olds. That'll be the question. Another question I'll be asking is how many of these are like, roguelikes, because he is a prolific roguelike developer for the most part. And yeah, this is taking a while, isn't it? Alright, so, oh, look at that. That feels like a waste of time now. Well, anyways, he's basically got like, a bunch of like playlists down here, which is basically good, so we're just gonna quickly just go through all this and like, Excel out, I guess. And we'll basically like do it like, we'll do it via like the scenarios he has listed here. And hopefully he has all of them listed, but we'll see. Alright, well, let's go here. Now, I'm not really sure if like Slashy's done like a 70-year-old for all the like, different like 70-year-olds that are basically done, but he's done a lot, to say like, the least. Oh, look at that. This was maybe a 70-year-old. Or he threw it in there by accident. Alright, let's see here. So, his last 70-year-old, I basically did it like, a recording for, so we basically saw it. There's like, Castle Relic. We did like a video for that too when we reviewed it. There's this one as well. Again, I did a video for it. And then we get to like, games like, before the 2023 70-year-olds. One was basically Splunky RL. I also did like, I covered this basically briefly in like, the ones for like 2022 to like, before. Here's one for 2021. I never actually covered like, some of these ones here. So, there's like one from 2021. There is like, Emerald Woods. That's from like 2020. Here's one from 2019. Heroes of Noriskia. Haunted Mansion. That's from 2018. Monster Trainer RL. This isn't listed as being like, in a 70-year-old, but it's worth noting that the 70-year-old didn't come to Itch until like a little bit later. So some of the 70-year-olds might not actually be like, being listed here as like jam versions, but it's just because they weren't hosted on Itch. So I guess the nice was basically 70-year-old first. You got Hope here. Expedition. And I did like, of course, like, a Let's Play like Expedition 2. Zelda RL. Mount Drash Roguelike. And Castlevania roguelike. Serenade of Chaos. That's like the first one I did. Alright, well. So this guy's basically a prolific, like, 7-year-old, like, veteran. Not much more to basically saying that. Let's get into his game. So, note, the version available to play online is a post-jam improved version. If you are curious to check the original, make sure to download it. You are Trinity, jacked into the Matrix and trapped in the heart of the City Hotel. The agents have traced your signal, and waves of armed police are swarming the halls. Every room, corridor, and stairwell become a tactical puzzle. Unleash your kung fu protocols and decide when to fight and when to slip past. One wrong move and you'll have you cornered. Your only hope of escape is to survive long enough to reach the ringing phone that will put you back in reality. So Matrix type of like idea, I guess. With each floor you climb down, the resistance tightens. Guards coordinate, SWAT enforcers appear, and the threat of an agent looms. Test your focus, bend the rules of the simulation, and fight like the legendary operative you are. So, basically it's like, the Matrix. We're basically in a network, doing our thing. He's got a download for Windows, cool. So he's got the, original Jam version as well as, this Windows version that was basically, uploaded like a week later. Now, before I basically jump into it, do you have like a news feed here or anything like that, Slashy? I wonder, what's the difference between the original Jam version and this Windows version is the idea, right? So, I would like to know. And nothing's downloading. Okay, there we go. Well, the original's downloading. Cancel one of those. And this is part of the reason I hate Itch for downloading stuff, but oh well. There's that downloaded. And that one downloaded, so there we go. Those are basically ready to be unzipped. But first thing first, let's try it here. So run the game. Rogue Operator Trinity -0.4. Press space to continue. Alright, install manager available, pick. So I guess we got pick your ability type of idea here. So Palm Strike, Shockwave, Quan B, Ippon Seo, Nage. These sound very Japanese, I guess. Shaolin Wushu, Hip Shot Counter, Running Gun, Focus Passive, Damage Stacking Passive. Hold the spoon, improve sights, dodge disc, penetrating shot, slow time, wall run, and bandoliers. So some of these are basically active abilities and some of these are basically passive abilities. I'm not sure which is better. Let's see here. Apparently I got stuff that says it's buggy, so there's that as well. That was packed, so maybe it was packaging some of these these abilities they basically had. So some of them may not have worked right at the the 14-day or end date, but whatever. Now it's basically packaged to work. Let's see here. Let's go with Ippon Seo Nage for now. Oh, we got to pick a bunch of them. I don't know. Let's take slow time maybe. And bandoliers. So we got free abilities. Okay, so you basically pick free, go. Alright, so we got ourselves Ippon Seo installed, slow time installed, and bandoliers. Okay, we got a little bit of music. That's interesting. We got a couple rookie cops apparently. So Ancient Mon Pretty, alias Trinity. Willpower 400, Vitality 7000, Chi 100. Weapon none. Man rogue. So we got rogue macro name rogue macro KT. Synopsis. We got J for hyper jump, I for inventory, S for skill programs, D for drop program, comma for pickup, space for shoot, tab to change target. Description. Key macro used to trigger in matrix actions. Now I have to say, it looks very fuzzy. Is that supposed to be like, you know, the case here? Oh, this is a rookie cop right next to me. So, kick, basic kung fu attack, minimal WP cost, emergency only. Do I have to basically shoot these guys? It's got mediation beads, very cheap for 10 turns, focus pill. So I'll tell you this basically from the get-go. It would be nice to have a little more information on how to play. I guess we took him down. So I lost a little bit of vitality there, but whatever. Okay, I got myself a little bit of like, you know, weapons to actually use now. We got Beretta, assault rifle, and look at that. We got ourselves like a sort of like, you know, Doom or L type of situation where stuff can be loaded into it until you unload it. There's my programs. I gotta remember I got so time as well, so you know, maybe I want to test that out. Okay, now we got like, you know, stuff in my thing here. I'm bringing 2 people now. That was quite a bit of damage. Hyper jump. Yep, that's what I have to basically do. So, you know, for those who don't recall it, basically Matrix, like, you know, the characters could be basically like these super jumps in the program, which basically let them, like, you know, jump like huge distances. And they can also like learn like things very easily as well. So that's basically what this is basically all sort of based on. Submachine's gun. So you got 3 rounds loaded in that. Beat cop. Was I shot or was I like, you know, missed here? Can only dodge that, by the way. He was taken down. Rookie cop. So we can jump out here if we need to. So if I need to, I can, like, you know, avoid combat maybe. So I got some ammo here. I want, like, you basically get more accurate when you're basically close to this stuff. SWAT officer, okay. You took him down? He hit me there, but whatever, it's probably better than, like, you know, him shooting at me, so whatever, just took him down easy enough. He's out of range. I still got 9 rounds loading my Beretta, so that's fine. Plenty of rounds at least to work with. Why can't I make the hyper jump there? Maybe I'll jump back here. Do I have to like run in direction or something? Okay, well, we're over here now. Ow, ow, ow. Took him down. B cup. Gets me for 400. Down he goes. I want to use up like the Beretta's like, you know, ammo, and then we'll like move it to like something else is the idea, I think. So that's what we're gonna aim for. Eh, whatever. There's a SWAT officer. I don't like the fact that you can't really select, or maybe like, you know, you have to select from down here. Change to our tab, maybe? That could be a thing. Alright, well, let's choose a different weapon. So, he's able to shoot me from here, so you got like a sort of Doom Morale type of issue. Is he hitting me, I wonder? Let's get this. Alright, so I got like a maximum of stuff I'm going to use here, right? So by the way, how do you drop stuff? Is like that a thing? So here's something to note, by the way. Your D key is like used for drop program, but it's also used for moving right. And A is moved for using like, you know, left. W for going up, X for going down. It's cool that you basically have like, you know, the right setup for like, you know, moving around, but you have an issue where if you have like drop program with D here, you can't actually drop anything. And I'm not sure if that's basically used for dropping like, you know, stuff at all, or, you know, whatever. Okay, we dropped it with D there. Some more 9mm ammo. We don't need that, but whatever. Let's just not worry about it. out of range, so... Now, here's something to note, by the way. Okay, so you can sort of like see who you're selecting with, like, you know, that sort of like rhythm thing, but... Shoot him. Did he still attack me from, like, you know... Yeah, he still attacks you, this guy, so that's worth knowing. I figured being, like, real close would basically stop him from doing that, but I guess not with those guys. See here, like, you know, there's still, like, no wait button, I guess. Okay, we got him. So that's something to note, by the way. It's a little bit hard to sort of distinguish, like, you know, guys when they're down and not down, I guess. Okay, so you get us a list of programs here. So Palm Strike, 10 WP damage, plus 30%, pushes free tiles away, stuns. Shockwave Fist, hits enemy behind for 50%, further behind for 25%. So that's buggy. Shot Wushu, Chi Boost, hip shot counter, passive counter, range dodge. Running gun, shoot while moving. Focus, damage stacking passive, holds a spoon. Willpower goes up by 100. Improved sights, range boost. Dodge this, instant kill melee range with gun. That could be cool. Let's get this. Terminal unavailable because you already used it. That's fine. Alright, we got plenty of like rounds here, so let's drop the ammo right there. I'm noticing a lot of like 9mm ammo. I wonder if this is because we were finding like, you know, a lot of it from the guys who are dropping it, or, you know, if like assault, you know, ranged weapons is a little bit more rare. Alright, we got some more guys here to deal with, so who do I care about most? Ow, 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 ow. Get rid of those guys. Alright, we kill them all. This is all their ammo right here. Kind of like Doom Morale, where you basically have a lot of, like, you know, ammo types that are basically, like, you know, just dropping out like constantly. Cool. Drop this. Let's put on this some machine gun maybe now. Oh, we got a machine gun. That's cool. But yeah, let's go for this now. So they can't hit me, but not always. Down he goes. There's the assault rifle I dropped. Cirrus pistol. We'll pick that up. Oh, he decided to attack me there. Right, I'm using a submachine gun, so whatever. Kick, basic kung fu attack, minimal WP cost. Took him down. Do I get willpower from killing these guys, I wonder? I seem to. That was a stairway down, I think. Is that gonna, you know, kill me? He's in the way. Ammo depleted. Can't use any more, so that's fine. He's out of range. That's fine too. I'm not sure if you basically get more accurate with like certain weapons or not, but whatever. You know I have to try at least once, right? So there might be bosses, but whatever. Yeah, military police goes down. He's taken down. Shotgun shells, cool. So we got shotguns. Haven't found a shotgun yet, but it's cool that we can basically find shotgun shells. Can we jump over here? Military police, SWAT officer, and beat cop. Let's go for you. You know, it's kind of interesting how they're like, you know, this place is like, you know, port all over the place, but at the same time it's kind of annoying because I have to sort of like figure out where's my, like, you know, my character's, like, you know, XP stats and stuff like that over and over again. Assault rifle, we don't need this, but I mean, it's got ammo to use, I guess. So there's that. Wow, that's a big leap. Beat cop, SWAT team leader. He's down. Cool. There we go. So this guy actually had some, you know, 7.62 ammo. So gonna drop this. There we go. 5.5 in my inventory. Okay, let's just stop dropping, like, you know, some of the stuff I don't need. We'll use up to, like, the assault rifle, you know, then dick shit, whatever. Terminal, always good to find. Maybe we'll take this. Jump. And drop, because I don't need it. Oh, look at that. This got 60 rounds in it now. That's cool. Service pistol. Let's see how it goes. Okay, took out easily enough. Nice and accurate, at least. Shotgun shells. Don't think it does. Hello? Man, like, I can't move this stuff, so, you know. just wherever it is. Cool. Kill them both. Shotgun. This service pistol is awesome. So it's actually really, you know, accurate to service pistol. That's good to know. Cool. Service pistol uses like 9mm ammo, so nice. I'm not sure if I might have just wasted some of my ammo there. So it might be like a type of game where if you basically reload too early, you actually like, you know, ditch all the ammo you basically had. So you have to be careful of that, I guess. Maybe. We got a shotgun though. Let's just use that. Let's drop this. Aim assist. Implant. 15 accuracy for 10 turns. So this makes you more accurate for like, you know, a while. It's basically consumable. Okay. Ow, ow. It's a shotgun. You know, it basically works like a shotgun. Well, I'm not impressed with it, I guess, so let's just not worry about the shotgun. Zen focus scroll. Submachine gun, we don't need that. How's my HP looking? I got basically 244 willpower, 3,880 vitality, Chi of 200, shotgun. We dropped the shotgun, we don't care about that. What is Chi used for? Like, I don't really see anything for Chi here. But yeah, like your major fail is going to be like, you know, lack of like, you know, instruction, so to speak, for this game, I think, here, Slashy. Hello. He survived a hit from that. That's annoying. So it's perfect when a machine gun doesn't necessarily kill these guys. Or they have ammo to, like, you know, or like, you know, armor is what I'm talking about. Let's see here. But let's just try this. We're going to use like this AR right here. See, I note that I have like 60 rounds now basically in here. So it basically takes all the rounds and throws it in, like, you know, dishes out the rest. I mean, it is actually realistic, so I'm not going to complain about it. Out of range, okay. Down he goes. Banish roll. It does what? 25 vite? That's okay. I got some vitality. It's not really worth my effort, I think, but whatever. You know, I get the feeling that cheese may be like a stat more than anything else. I see it listed, like, you know, over here, but whatever. Cool. All dead. Is that in our terminal? Alright, we got Palm Strike. Chalamushu passive chi boost. Hip shot counter, counter range dodge. No good at that. Pick this up. Serious picture detected. Now, something about, like, you know, those games that, unlike Jupiter Health, there doesn't seem like any, like, you know, sort of like, you know, anything really gearing into or like using specific like weapons or anything like that. We're just gonna ditch this at this point. Yeah, I think the assault rifle definitely has more damage, but you know, the other one basically is like, you know, sprays and prays, so to speak. Trinity escapes the Matrix, apparently. Cool. Am I just done? What happens next? Like, I escaped. Yeah, I kind of forgot the ending sequence, I guess. Or maybe it's like, you know, whatever. Alright, well, that was basically Rogue Operator Trinity. So your only hope is escape, survive long enough to reach the ring phone that will pull you back to reality. With each floor you climb down, the resistance tightens. There's like only 2 floors, by the way, so I mean, it's definitely getting stronger as we went to Rembrandt building, but whatever. We never ran into the agent, by the way. I guess we want to check out the regional here a little bit. See what the original basically says. If, like, you know, it basically says this is buggy, this is not buggy. There's the credits, I guess, for stuff. Not what I'm after. Is this it? It's an EXE, so I will hope so. This is application. Alright, so basically you don't have like anything in the jam version here. Interesting. Trinity, I better go, she says. I will note that, by the way, it looks a lot better, like just like post, like, you know, pre-jam version, because, or it's jam version, because, like, you know, I know I'm like unnecessarily like overwhelmed by guys right away, so that's actually a better start than, like, you know, the one I had before, like guys all over the place. Oh, we have everything right here. So we got Palm Strike. Damage 30%, pushes 3 tiles away, stuns. Packed. Shockwave Fist. Hits enemy behind for 50%, per behind for 25%. Quan Bay hits twice, Buggy. Tiger Combo hits twice, Fist, plus kick contested. So, I think I did the wrong thing there. Become is stunned. I didn't actually push him anywhere with that. I meant to do like Shockwave, but whatever. Oh, I just took him down. So it's noticeable that I don't have like any like attacks here. And apparently these guys have like he went down. So is there like no weapons like earlier on? Down he goes. So far I found no weapons and they aren't dropping any ammo, so I wonder if they basically were implemented right away. So that's a little bit buggy maybe. I'm not really sure. Were they basically hitting me like before? When I basically was attacking him, like, I don't think so. There's definitely bugs with, like, the Jam version for sure, so... We'll go a little bit further. I suppose the buggy thing is that it doesn't always like double hit. Yeah, he sort of disappeared, this rookie cop. Nope, by the way, willpower is basically like, not going on first here, so that's interesting. SWAT officers and everything else. Nope, I would only attack me once too, so... Did I run out of willpower? Yes, I did. So I can't actually attack these guys anymore. So yeah, new level, no willpower. So we're basically done with this one, I guess. I mean, without the guns, it's like, you know, not as good, I guess. So, but I will see a lot more, like, you know, combat basically right there. And this is probably just like, you know, what we saw in the browser, but basically in like executable form. Yeah, so we got this. So time, everything else. That's still buggy, I guess. Palm Strike is patched. I suppose the question basically asked here is like, you know, is like this stuff here basically serving a real purpose? Like, if you basically like waste your willpower, like you could use it as a shield. You could be like just gunning and running in, so to speak. So let's get this. And what's the like the wall run basically do, I wonder? It's definitely annoying, by the way, when you get to the first room, there's basically stuff in here, so... There's the ammo and, you know, a Beretta. So yeah, basically just like the before, but now we're just like, you know... Let's go back to the same thing. Okay, so... That's enough testing, basically, like, you know, the game then. So let's get to, like, reviewing, I guess, at this point. Took me a little bit to get through it, but that's fine. Alright, so, /E. We're just going to take this, and we're going to throw it right over here. You're the 8th game I basically reviewed. All right, completeness. So, I think the biggest issue, you know, I didn't actually test one thing. I probably should. So, hang on one moment. We're just gonna grab the Palm Fist, Shockwave. Did you take out the target one, I guess? But whatever. Just like, you know, leave stuff here. So, kick is always basically there. That's cool, you basically have it there at least now. Mercy use only. Shockwave. So hit them both, like hit one for hit the other. It's fine. And then kick them. I forgot what I was basically going to test, but oh yeah, it's just buggy. So it's still only like hitting once. Oh, there we go, twice. Trinity falls into an endless chasm. It said I fell into an endless chasm, by the way, but whatever. See, yeah, it's basically buggy because it doesn't always trigger the Quan Bay like ability. So yeah, there's still bugs is the thing, right? And there was bugs basically present in the other one. I think for completeness I have to like knock you down like to a 3 because there'd be bugs. stable experience. Could use more instructions on how to play. That's basically all I can really say. It's just, it needs more information to sort of know how to basically play it. All right, aesthetics. Yeah, I'll be blunt. I'm not really big fan of like the design choice. If like, you know, the help is basically jumping over here and like, you know, over there, and like, you know, my other stuff is jumping over here and over there. It's cool to basically have like the like, you know, effect, I guess, but it gets annoying like, you know, fast. Like cool effect, but annoying to play. Excellent key design choice. I'll give you that, by the way. That's basically in regards to like, you know, the WADX. Definitely like the eight player like sort of movement that you basically went with. So good job there. I will say this though, I did have a lot of fun with the game. But how much do I score do I want to give you here? That's the thing. I enjoyed the game a lot. So something basically like, you know, I compare this a little bit to like Jupiter Hell because that's really like a gold standard you basically have to sort of like aim for. The skills didn't really do anything in regards to like, you know, your weapons that much. Like, you know, you might design to be sort of like, you know, more firearm heavy than like, you know, melee heavy. And that's like the other thing. Like, it's cool you have melee skills, but they kind of conflict with like, you know, having guns. Like, I could see like the like, you know, melee skills being like really important if like, you know, maybe have like a charge skill that basically lets you like, you know, reposition yourself or throw enemies into each other to like stun them or something. But they didn't really have like any like interesting flavor to them. And yeah, basically with like combat, it's basically like, you know, just like kill the enemy and like, yeah, that's basically it, move on. I mean, it's sort of like probably the ideal like the Matrix, but I mean, there's like no like real drive of like, you know, killing them basically. So no real tactical like, you know, importance really to basically consider. I did like what's here, but you know, I probably have to give it like an R free. Innovative. how do I want to basically put this? I like the idea like how you made like the Matrix game into like a roguelike. But what else do I want to say here? Yeah, I'll basically like say like this. Like the fans like you have some ideas like you with combat and like gun combat and stuff like that, but it didn't feel like it really jived very well together. Like nothing really jive. Like it's just like oh, can you use like a melee attack on this? Oh, can you use like a gun combat to like deal with the situation. I didn't really feel like there's like anything really interesting basically going on. So there's something really basically intuitively great about it. Oh yeah, something I actually want to consider as well. Like I have no idea what like chi was or what like what my accuracy basically stats basically were for like different weapons and stuff like that. But yeah, like more explanation needed. Just worth pointing out again. For scope, I'll note basically like with scope, your game entry with like the lack of guns, it kind of brings you down a little bit. I definitely want to give you free here, I think, but how do I want to basically word this? That's just worth knowing. So So here's something basically like to note about like your game here. You basically have like gun combat. You basically have like melee combat. You have like the jump mechanism between buildings, and like the screen effects, I guess, as a thing as well. I'll note basically because like the post gen basically didn't really have the guns. I really can't like rate this like the 4, but I mean, even outside of that, there's nothing really special about the the genres. Like what was basically here anyway. So there's that 2 to basically knock it down. Like you didn't really like flesh out like the design of your game to like make us like guns and like melee combat were basically special. As idea, maybe you could have like a charge attack, but basically like you charge up like to an enemy that sees like shooting point blank with a shotgun. So that'd be interesting. It'd be like combination of like the 2. But yeah, I couldn't really figure out like really like outside like the gun and like melee combat. There's actually nothing really like unique about this like, game versus like another one besides the theme. So there's that too going against it. It's just like any other like say like Doom Morale or like Jupiter Hell shooter type of roguelike where like you shoot stuff with guns or like you melee with like a chainsaw or something like that. You have consumables if you want, but you know, who really cares? Like at least like if I look at Doom Morale and like you know Jupiter Health, they have like upgrades in their weapons and stuff like that too. So that'd be like an idea like you didn't really have here. So it needed like a unique idea here. Like I'll throw this out here. There's that game like Trauma RL from like back in the day, and Trauma RL basically had like you know a similar sort of like saying to this, but basically had like you know a sort of like you know pathing system similar to like you know System Shock, I guess it was like you know a design for it. And I mean like you know stand out like you know gameplay wise because it's like you know a little different than just a theme. But yeah, it could have used a little bit more I think for like you know just like something to make it stand out besides the theme. Is it roguelike? Yes. I will give you this. Like, you know, obviously the stacks were basically the main thing for this game. I didn't really like, you know, like it, but I will note that basically it was like, you know, trying to do its own thing, so it does have that going for it. So there's that. Main text review, what do I basically want to say about this? Let's see here. Instructions, please. What's another thing I basically say here? Yeah, basically that's the idea, like, you know, make the skills basically have like more interesting effects. Like, you know, make it like a practical skill, let's say like maybe like, you know, charge up with like a shotgun. You could have it so like, you know, the you know, the weapons could like shoot through walls of like their machine gun and let you like, you know, blast the enemies like, you know, before they can do anything. What can I say here? Yeah, do ricochet shots with pistols, etc. Like that's the thing, like, you know, it didn't really feel interesting like using the weapons. It didn't really do anything like, you know, anything spectacular. Yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say here. So, obviously, get some instructions. You know, make the systems like you know come alive, so to speak, with something. Like, it doesn't have to be like, Jupiter Hell inspired with like, certain guns being like, augmented by like, skills. You could just have like, different playstyles where like, like you could have like, a running type of system where like, when you run, there's like a chance like enemies say, I guess that's stuff that Jupiter Hell already does, doesn't it? That's the thing. Jupiter Hell did like, a lot of the stuff basically perfectly and like, skill wise. Like you have like weapons that basically like, they could be like, specific like skills for them, or you get like general skills that basically like, help everyone. Jupiter Hell is basically really great for it. So, but yeah, maybe like try and figure out something to try and like make your like, your things like come alive and together. Like if there's like an ability to like, maybe like do like a shot on palm strike kind of thing, like, that's something like a basic throw out there. Let's see here. A skill that lets you knock back an enemy like that basic idea. Like, basically like a combination of like your like, shadow palm basically knocking him back and you can shoot him at the same time with your pistols or finish him off. But yeah, like, do something like interesting with your stuff, please. That's all I can really say. All right, let's just see here. So, obviously, you just get it all free because I gave you free, so that's basically all you're going to get. But, I mean, I like the entry. It's just like, it felt kind of average. Not really good, not really great. All I can really say. All right, that's basically it for this game. Hope you enjoyed the review there, Slashy, and take care.